Hello, this is Dr. Lorenzo Neal with the Zero Today radio show and the Zero Today channel here on YouTube. And I want to thank all of you who are listening, liking, and sharing the videos. We want to invite you to continue to do so. Uh, like videos, subscribe to this channel, help our channel grow as we progress into this uh, new arena, I guess you can say, of media ministry, and also hit the notification so you can get updates of when we do upload new videos. And we appreciate your support and all that you do, all that you will be doing, and all that you have done to help make this successful for us. So today I just want to give my insight onto what's now known as the supermarket showdown between Georgia State Representative Erica Thomas and a, a male, white male, Cuban American male in the supermarket. Um, Erica Thomas went and did a Facebook Live recounting the event of what she felt was not only discrimination but racial tension between her and the gentleman, in which she stated that the gentleman basically told her to go back from where she came. And of course, you know that is fresh in the minds of America because of the implied tweet from President Trump uh, against the squad, the four Democrats in the House of Representatives, and in which he implied that uh, they should go back to wherever the country they came from, even though only one is not born American, but is a naturalized American citizen. But anyway, so um, this is stemming from that, where the people are chanting, "Send her back," you know, like they chanted, "Lock her up." Anyway, so stemming from that, she has this encounter, and she goes on and places her concern about the incident on Facebook, and eventually the person, the man, and I can't recall his name, so please forgive me. I'm sure you can Google and you can find more information about that. But anyway, so the conflict happens. She goes and she reports it, and as she reports it, she implies that he, is recalling and restating and reaffirming the words of President Trump, or those supporters of President Trump, saying "send her back." And later, uh, the gentleman states that he comes forward and he states that that is not the case, um, and that he did not say those words. He was simply frustrated at the fact that she was in the 20 hour, 15 items or less, or 10 items or less aisle in the grocery market, and that she had more than that, and it bothered him so much that he had to address it. He went to the customer service at the grocery market to address it, and it was not addressed. And they said basically, we can't do anything about it, but you can as a customer. And he walks out, returns, and addresses it. And yeah, the rest is history, as they say. So um, it's come out that she has admitted that uh, he did not explicitly use those words, "go back to where you came from," but within the context, at the moment she heard those words, and again put that and contextualized it within the context of "go back to where you came from," uh, as President Trump, supporters have have been stating. And so she did not fully recant, but she did not recant. I mean, she didn't um, discount what possibly was said. So, and you know, you got to understand black women. Black women are notoriously confrontational. It can come across as being confrontational, can come across as being aggressive when it really is, not aggressive. And they can come across as just being mean when they really aren't. And it's because of things like that that um, incidents such as this that kind of again push that narrative, push that perspective of black women, and it's a sad thing. And our brothers, those of us who engage with black women, we know they can be fierce, and that's a good thing. They can be fierce. So I can understand why he may have had this sense of intimidation and urgency and all of this to address the matter. And I place fault on the employee who gave him an authority. I wouldn't have followed up on that authority given to me by a manager or a supervisor. I would have done that. I would have just me. I would have left it alone. The guy did walk out and come back in and confront. So it was just crazy on it. But I really want to focus on this idea from a perspective of differentiation of self differentiated perspective, particularly from the perspective of emotional reactivity. I've talked about this before, and I'll talk about it again. I believe because I support or pretty much promote the idea of family systems, Bowen family systems, and the idea of differentiation of self, the concept of that as not only a model for family systems, but a model of ministry and engagement individually with our interpersonal relationships and within our family of origin, as well as for me, our church construct, faith community construct. So this issue of emotional reactivity and fusion, well, not really fusion, but a whole lot, mostly emotional reactivity. A well self-differentiated person would be aware of how they are feeling, that what they're thinking and how they're feeling, and be able to process that without emoting or reacting in a negative way. And this such is lacking. It's lacking in our world today. It's lacking in our churches. It's lacking in our communities. It's definitely lacking in our political landscape. That sense of self-differentiation, that sense of less emotional reactivity and more social and positive interpersonal exchanges. And we're seeing this, I believe, is heightened largely by media, promoting stories like this, with the hope of inciting some type of emotional reaction. We want people, and I'm speaking in generalizations. People want to react to something. The media want people to react to something. It increases ratings, and it pushes causes. For example, in my advocacy with gun violence prevention, when we share stories of survivors and we share the stories of reaction to people who are non-survivors, and it comes to that particular issue of gun violence prevention, that drive, that fact, we want to pull on the heartstrings of those persons who have not been impacted by gun violence and don't see the need for more gun violence prevention advocacy. And I'm not talking about gun violence, I mean gun control. I'm just talking about gun violence prevention advocacy, and they equate that with gun control. It's the same way. This story was presented to America with the sense of inciting emotional reaction. Feel bad for this black woman who was infringed upon by this white man because of the person in office, or the person supporting the person in office stating that they need to go back to where they came from. And we live in we're in the deep South, in Mississippi, Alabama, in Louisiana, in Georgia, where those with remnants of Jim Crow, segregation, slavery is still very much present in our world today. It's very much present. It's not as active, but it's very much present. Now, it's not reactionary, but there are still incidents where people here in the Deep South still have that sense of a racial, and I don't want to use this word, oppression. It's that sense there, but it's not It's a perceived thing. It's not really there, but it's perceived. And you have acts of microaggression such as that between these two persons. This act of microaggression that kind of resurges this nostalgic reaction that we must support this person because they have been infringed upon in some way, shape, or form. It may not be the case, and it was not the case, as she herself stated. Well, I can't recall that he said those exact words and that exact meaning, but this is how I perceived it. So, what should we do? What is the goal for me? Reacting to this video, my whole point and my whole purpose is to empower persons to be more self-differentiated, to be able to engage themselves and process emotions and recognize that those emotions may be real and you are entitled to experience them and react to them, and hopefully not in a negative way but in a positive way where you can reframe those emotions instead of having those negative emotions come out and react. You can experience those emotions and process those emotions and reframe them into something positive and empowering. Now, it's hard to do. It's a learned thing, and that's why I exist now. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing now with this whole thing of self-differentiation. My entire doctoral research was focused on this, particularly with clergy. Now, I'm focusing specifically with clergy. I believe by empowering clergy to be self-differentiated, we'll see a greater, distinct, empowering ministry. That's just me. That's just how, and that's why I do what I do. I want to see ministers empowered. I want to see those that they serve and minister to empowered. I want to see a liberated world changing each other for the positive. Yeah, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And the headlines like this that we see, which incite negative emotional reactivity, does more hurt than harm. I know we can do better. And I know we will do better. We're doing better. And I'm speaking this now. We are doing better. But we can be more engaging with ourselves so that we be more better engaged with others. Not more better. Not more better. But we can be better engaged with others. That interpersonal engagement and interaction builds the community that we desire. And that's what I'm here for, and I hope that's what you're here for. That's our purpose, to love each other as we love ourselves, to love God with all of our hearts. If you believe that, if you are a believer, that's it. Love God with all your heart, your soul, your mind. Love your neighbors, those within your community, whoever they may be, as you love yourself. All right. Again, thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. Feel free to share all your comments. I welcome the comments. I've been reading comments from some of my last videos, and I'm, y'all come hard with the comments. But I welcome them, and I will try to dialogue with you. But if you do leave comments, if it's anything remotely negative, gotta delete. But anyway, welcome you. Also, in the description, you'll find ways to support me. There is, I am on Patreon, so you can be a patron. Go to the description, you'll learn how to do that. Lorenzo T. Neal on Patreon. So also as a PayPal option, you can support. But however you do, we thank you for joining us in this adventure that we're going on. Thank you so much. The Lord bless you. The Lord keep you. I'm out. Thank you.